10-minute presentation. So I'd like to keep it within that time limit, so I'll go ahead and roll into that. First, I'd like to introduce, I brought a couple of members of our office today. Miss Hayden Soloway and Julia Robinson. If you guys could stand up, if you ladies could stand up. Name tag. And we strive, I've practiced plenty of door law. I've done about every area of law. I've been in about every courtroom, really over the past week. And in my past, I try to narrow that down as much as possible now. We just focus on elder law and estate planning. That's all we focus on, and that's all we advertise. I still have people come to me from different areas, and Julia helps me with some of those other areas of law that I'm still that are trickling in. And we're working on referral partners to make sure we refer those out. Hayden Soloway is our marketing director and coordinator. Hayden, if you could tell the group just in 60 seconds or less kind of what you do and how we do business.
Well, Greg gives seminars which educate and is a marketing tool. And we also do a radio show on Fridays at 10 o'clock on Big O Country, 1390.
Big O Country.
Yes, and that is also education. We're doing what has turned into quite a series of shows on elder issues, whether it's health or fitness or nutrition. So if you have older people, we've had a lot of people. This radio show has grown because of that. The seminars we give at churches, YMCA, senior centers, anywhere that we have an audience. And we cater them, maybe Subway sandwiches or the continental breakfast. And Greg spreads the word, hopefully, as to as many elderly people as he can about what they can do to protect their money and their assets. And I would like to add that I came to work from PSU. We've had a long association. We've made a lot of money together, Tim and I. And Julia also came from PSU, and I'd like to thank you.
So yeah, PSU's played an instrumental role in helping us put the right people in the right seats on the bus. I like to say we want to win the World Series, and to do that, we need to have A players at each position if we want to win this year. That's what we're looking to do. We want people with good work ethics and that really have personalities and skills to fit the roles. Part of the problem, I guess, as a business owner is getting out of the technician's role of just doing every little thing and defining other positions in the office. Julia runs our probate department and, I guess, cleanup with everything else, too. Can you tell them a little bit? We're doing a presentation on some of our technology this morning. If you want to tell them just a little bit about our systems and how we try to run our firm like a business, okay? Which means breaking things down to systems and processes, and I'm extremely serious about doing that. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time we go to do something. So, go ahead.
We've really been trying to focus on, in all our departments, getting our step-by-step process down, and we're going to have a software program, which is what they're going to talk to you about, to basically put that on a conveyor belt so that at any time we can see, somebody can go in and see exactly what point in the process that client is, how close to completion or how close to being started the project will be. I do mostly probate, help clean up other cases.
She does probate. When she says cleanup, she means the other areas of law that we're winding down, okay? She knows how to do some of those other areas and helps me with some of my court cases. Julia has actually developed a nice checklist for us, and every step of the process with any type of probate or estate administration, and it continually updates clients with those checklists. The easiest way that I can see to avoid client complaints, and one of the biggest complaints is, my attorney won't call me. I can't get him on the phone, or I'm not getting an update, because things take time sometimes. They do. So one of the ways to avoid that, and I think in any business, is to get ahead of that. So you keep the customer involved or the client involved in the whole process each step of the way. So at each step in the process, the client gets an email and or a phone call or text telling them that this is where we've moved in that step of the probate process. We're developing that for each one of our areas, such as benefits planning and pre-planning as well, or estate planning for seniors, so that they know where their work is at each space or each part of the process or conveyor belt process, as you said. And she's done a great job in probate of putting that on paper. Now, what we're getting ready to do is put that in the cloud, where every client is essentially hung on a pipeline, and that pipeline moves, and tasks are generated as it moves along. That's what I want to be able to scale our business and grow. Is just to refine our processes continuously and get better and better and better, so that we can duplicate also. So thank you very much. And this is Nancy Fichter. Nancy, if you would stand up. Nancy and I are partners on a venture that's a little bit of an offshoot of McIntyre Elder Law. We do it through a company called McIntyre Technology Innovators. And I've always got some things going on the side. These are really fun things. But right now we're doing an app that is for other elder law and estate planning attorneys. After that, we'll tailor that to banks for their trust departments. And we have another more in-depth trust and benefits planning app that will come along behind that. We're also working on other projects, called Sage Owls, for instance, which is similar to my eDocs Access program, but eDocs Access, I guess, pales in comparison to what Sage Owls would be, which would be a central location for someone to go to tell them everything they need to do to handle a senior that's going through a rough time, to handle their documents. Everything's kind of located in one place. The fax out or email out, every bank, medical facility, everyone at one time, necessary powers of attorneys, healthcare powers of attorneys, and other documents, things like that. I can't tell you how much I appreciate Nancy helping me. We've been working on 8 months, and we're close to completion. I'd say we're about 85 to 90% there. You want to tell them a little bit about yourself, like a 60 seconds?
Yeah, he wanted me to give a little quick background about myself. I'm really coming from an anthropology and archaeological background, focusing on human remains. I've worked across the country, across the world, dealing with forensic anthropology, Native Americans, and mass graves. And I've seen a lot of need with the circumstances that we're dealing with. And the journey that's brought me here to Shelby and to be with Greg McIntyre is that both my parents, my dad has since passed and my mom's in a nursing home with dementia. And I have taken on the role as a caregiver and a care manager for my parents. Very briefly with my father, and more in depth with my mother. And I saw through her process dealing with my father and his death, all of the convoluted stuff that she had to deal with, even when you have a really good plan in place. And I've just recently had to deal with that with some investors that didn't want to comply with my mother's power of attorney, which is excellent. And so Greg was able to help me with that. But last year...
and by help, she means get on the phone and yell at them.
Yeah. What happens a lot in these circumstances when you have elderly people who are ill, they fall, they break something, and that really tends to create a spiral. And that's what happened to my mother last year. She broke her hip, and I was sitting in the hospital thinking, you know, I'm the one that she's always been with, feels really secure with. And here I was, I couldn't stay in the hospital. I had to be dealing with paperwork and going to different places, and it was really frustrating to me when I needed to be there. And so I heard one of Greg McIntyre's talks at a women's organization, and I think it just clicked that he was an elder lawyer, that he worked in programming, and I went to him with this idea. I said, you know, caregivers don't need to have to deal with this crap. They just really don't. And so I said, you know, is there a way that we can develop a web-based solution for caregivers to be able to get this information to the companies they need so that you can spend more time with the person that you love because you need to. And so that's how our relationship started. And then we've had just a few hiccups, which happens. And so we refocused on the Peace of Mind app, which again is really about helping people understand the legal process. And I think what I bring to this, having an anthropology background, is really trying to represent the customer, the client, the person that is in that emotional turmoil, that's having to deal with stuff and not understanding everything that's going on because it's legal. So we've tried to develop this app, even though it is for lawyers, we're going to refocus and have it attractive to bankers and other working groups. But it is for the client. It's for the client to help them understand what it is that they need, and to fully understand the documents and what they're for. And so that when you're with organizations or companies that are telling you this isn't good enough, you can say, yes, it is. And I've got the proof, I know what I'm talking about, and I also have the support.
Yeah, I could not do this without Nancy. She's just been amazing. It's amazing what kind of talent and intelligence you'll find in your own community, in your own backyard. Nancy's husband, Robert, is a Brit from across the pond, and he helps us write very, very good, I guess, writer.
Yeah.
Is that at the base of what it is? And really helps us develop like the website that will support all this and have information and sales to do with all this as well.
Write some of the copy and understand some of the marketing.
That's right. So Peace of Mind app is for other attorneys. Just to show you just briefly, and please let me know when I'm out of my time. I'll just do it over a couple of minutes, 3 minutes, okay? So, all right, so the first time you download it, it shows a tutorial and introductory video, which is not the video that will be the tutorial and introductory video. It's actually of a little girl sliding down the driveway in the snow. But it's just a placeholder video. Tried to get kind of another video in there this morning, but just didn't have time. That's one of the tweaks, but really we won't film that until we're done with the app, okay? So when you go into it, it'll have a nice motivational 60-second intro video into the app, first time you download it. Then you'll have the choice to play that or to play the tutorial, which will be me and probably Nancy walking you through the app, the entire app. Or you can skip that, and let's say we're going to make a client. We're going to call her Jane Doe, okay? So we're going to add that client, and we're going to put some assets up here. Now remember, I might be dealing with an entire family who knows nothing about estate planning or elder law, or knows nothing about asset protection. I might have a 90-year-old grandmother at the table, and I'm explaining to her a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust and what it does, and what it costs, and why it's worth that to protect X number of dollars, or a Ladybird deed, and what it costs, and why it's worth that to protect your $250,000 house. And they don't necessarily always get it, or I have to go back and explain it over and over again. So this is really a sales tool and a presentation tool for attorneys who are notoriously bad at sales, okay? So it narrows down about, at least, and it gives a printout of an entire plan once you're done, okay? So let's say I want to put the house up. I'm going to put primary residence up, okay? And then I'm going to go in with a tool, and I'm going to use, now, we can pre-program. I can have a paralegal go in and pre-program in all our values for our property and assets before I go into a meeting. So it really streamlines the process, okay? I'm going to put a Ladybird deal on that property, which is going to bypass the 5-year look-back period and 3-year look-back period for long-term care and assisted living Medicaid. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to put some values on it, okay? These values, I would like for those to go ahead and be there. That's another tweak. We're just going to add those, so those pull actually from a tool value and asset value that the attorney will go in and set up for his or her practice, okay? And it might be multiple attorneys. You'll just have a different login. That'll be germane to you. You want to go in and go ahead and put in your attorney signature in there, so that'll go ahead and go in the fee agreement, okay? And we want to save that. So that's generated at the end too. So you can have it there for the client to sign here and here, and we're done. Then we'll want it to also generate a work order that automatically generates from the plan that we build or we're building, okay? That goes ahead and generates for your staff to walk you through every single step of the process of the document creation for your firm, okay? So, I'm going to assign a value. I'm going to say, okay, for this $250,000 house, I'm gonna charge $500 for the Lady Road deed there, okay? So that's the plan. I'm gonna add a discount. Let's do a percentage. I'm gonna do a discount of 25%. Let's try a dollar amount. Okay, there we go. So I got my dollar amount discount. And then I come in and I say, okay, well, I've got some personal property here. I've got some heirloom items. You know, I want to pass that by the will. I've got, you know, I'm going to charge, say, $250 for that will. And again, we want those to auto-populate, and that'll happen shortly. I got some heirloom items worth about $20,000 that have been in the family for years that we're going to pass on that way. I might have some other personal property items as well, maybe some, say, household furniture or furnishings. And I'm going to pass those under the will as well, okay? I'm not going to add any cost for that. Next iteration of the app, this is the 10th version. So it comes out, it goes a little further down the road each time. The next version, we'll be able to combine those wills into one block, okay? So we've got household furnishings worth, let's say, $30,000. And we're going to pass those by the will. We're not going to charge anything else. So I'm going to say, okay, you know, we're going to protect $300,000 worth of assets. Really, with the primary residence in there, that's a steal. We're going to do that for, which is the $300,000 over here. We need to get our commas in there, so it places the commas in the right place. I don't want that. So, and the plan's going to cost $750 based on what we have up here. We're going to give a discount of $250 for a total of $500 for the client. And then I might want to come in here. Well, I'm definitely going to want to save that. Okay, so I want to update that client. Okay. And then if I wanted to open it, we could see Jane Doe there is now a client, okay, along with AAAAA. I don't know, that's probably me testing something. So, you know, we might want to print that entire plan, which we'd want to print every screen. The fee agreement, we'd want to print this puzzle piece, okay, screen. We'd want to print the work order. We might want to print a whiteboard where I came in here, and which is what most attorneys use, or a rolling sheet of paper. And so, you know, I'm going to protect that house. Instead of going through probate, I'm going to give it directly to you, okay? Heaven forbid, you know, you pass, you know, your mom or dad pass away.
Is that how you know?
There you go. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, that's probate. That's probate. Probate. Okay, we're going to avoid probate, okay, and give it directly to you. We're going to save that screen. We're going to print that also. All our whiteboards. We might want to take some notes, okay, generic to this, to pass along to our staff, okay? And we might want everything to display in a report, okay? That's a little more, I guess, table-based, as opposed, I'm done, okay. It's a little more table-based as opposed to just the puzzle pieces. So, that's the Peace of Mind app. That's how we are setting ourselves apart as the experts in elder law and estate planning in the nation. That's our goal. And we want to provide this to every attorney in our Elder Council nation, our Elder Council network across the nation, and to make it easier for clients to understand the plan and for attorneys to present plans to their clients. So anyway, just some of the things that we offer that you won't find, I think, anywhere else, even at a very large firm, that we offer right here. Shelby, don't feel honest.
Thank you very much. I just quickly want to pass out a questionnaire for you. I mean, even though this is, as you can see, right now targeted for attorneys, especially elder law, we've already had conversations with banks and some other groups that say, you know, this is really great. This is great technology. This is a great idea. Maybe we could tailor it to my business, you know, and with just a few simple changes. And so this is what this questionnaire is about. If you have the time, we'd really appreciate it if you could fill it out or email us. We have both Greg and I have our emails at the bottom. And like I said, the questionnaire is not just related to this app and this law, but also about McIntyre Innovations Technology Innovations, sorry. Because we're bringing something new to Shelby. And so we want to just make everybody aware of the company itself, showing off our first app, but showing that we have a very movable future.
I'd like to thank again.